Hi there. Had a really interesting week. A lot of thoughts about the game of life. I was thinking about life, and I could see a chessboard in my head, and I was looking at through kind of a few different experiences I've been having, and how we are all so interconnected, and how we're playing on this chessboard. We are all pieces, and we then maybe kind of oversee it with two aspects: the conscious or unconscious self. And for me, I was looking at the part of, a person in your life, someone close, makes a move on the board, and that move is obviously a kind of a pattern or a play on their part, and you make a counter move, and that counter move can be based on fear, it can be based on hurt, it can be based on love, joy, it can be based on many different kind of emotional reactions. But when the person makes the move, you make another move. And we all make moves because we're all adjusting, we're all part of the game. So we're all moving and adjusting on a minute by minute daily, occurrence, really, I suppose. There is a kind of an avenue or an opening to say that if you are fully conscious and fully aware, well, then you don't have to make moves. You can stay within your own space. But we'll just take it that most of us aren't that awake, and that we're all kind of playing in the game. So I was kind of aware of when the kind of stakes are high, when they're really high, they're emotionally charged. So, one individual makes a move and the other person is hurt or threatened by it, so they make a counter move. And that counter move can escalate the whole situation. It can nullify it, but a lot of times it can escalate it. And then the person makes another move, and you find yourselves in this kind of twisted game until the game is then won or lost. And it kind of became kind of obvious to me that, there's we play out patterns in these kind of interactions, and the same game keeps playing out. So when a particular move is made against you, you make the same counter move all the time. And I thought, wouldn't it be amazing if, like a grand master of chess, we could see 15 moves ahead, and we could see the outcome, and we could choose to make a different move, a move that would invariably end up in a win. But the win then kind of really got to me, because if you've got a win, you've got a loss on the other side. So how could you make it where it would be win-win? Well, I suppose if you can see the overall game, if you can see the game from above, the potential is that you can, because with the amount of options and the amount of outcomes in life, we can have win-wins, and it's something that really, I suppose, we're programmed not to believe in. We're kind of programmed to be competitive, and a belief in a win and a loss kind of situation. And I think there's a possibility that, and I truly believe that it is always the case, whether we know it or not, that it's always win. Even out of the most difficult situations, we find ourselves years later saying, that was incredible, this brought me on this particular path, and now I'm doing really well. But it's very hard when you're in it. But being in it and being conscious of it, and getting out of the drama of the reactionary movement, and being able to say, okay, well, I'm not going to actually counter move this person, I'm actually just going to move a piece way off to the side here that has nothing to do, or it kind of gives the impression of having nothing to do with the game that's going on. And moving yourself around and being able to breathe, and being able to be relaxed. So kind of what I found myself in was being able to say, okay, this is going on, there's a game going on here, but I'm going to actually have learned something from it, and I'm going to play it slightly differently. So I found kind of myself saying, okay, I'm not making a counter move, I'm just moving. naturally moving, because everything is in movement. And what I would like the outcome to be is that everybody wins, and because there is no opposition, then the potential for an easy outcome, a flow, would be much more open to all parties, because we are interacting all the time, we are playing roles for each other. So if we were to just become sort of like air or water, to be able to flow and move between the cracks and the joints of the game, the outcome seems to be sort of, I suppose, more stable, more easy. So I found that it was a really interesting kind of thing to think about, to see life as a game of chess, and to kind of think about it like anybody who studies games or with chess would do. They look at the moves, and they look at the moves that cause least harm to all parties, I suppose, even though you are looking for an outcome of a win. But the win really, I suppose, for true believers in the game of life, is there for everybody. It's not just, it's not exclusive, it's inclusive. And I found I got great kind of solace and a sense of peace of it when I kind of contemplated that all of life is for living, and all of life is for everybody who's playing it. So anyway, that was my thought of the week. So hopefully it helps, stimulates, or maybe activates some part of yourself that is open to playing the game differently. Thanks.